Peace and blessings, beautiful people. My name is Abril, your resident herbalist, and welcome back to my channel, Beauty, Herbs, and Tea, where we talk about all things tea, herbs, and resources to help you start your herbal business right now. So you all, I have been getting a lot of people DMing me asking for mentorship to become an herbalist. I do offer mentorship on the business side in my Herbal Business Assistant course. However, I do not offer mentorship to actually help you become an herbalist because I don't have the time, y'all. I just do not have the time to offer one-on-one mentorship or apprenticeship for someone who is looking to become an herbalist, because that is a huge commitment. I'm talking about 24/7 commitment. However, I would still like to help you all become an herbalist. So I decided to do something, you all. I decided to create some content to help you all start your herbal journey. So in these next few videos, I am going to be talking all about herbalism, how to start your herbal journey, how to actually become a herbalist, as well as throwing in some recipe formulation videos. And it's all going to be leading up to my brand new course called the Self-Taught Herbalist, where I help you become a herbalist using the self-taught method, which is the method that I use to initially become a herbalist. So let's get started with this video. So in this video, I am going to break down exactly what herbalism is, where it came from, as well as how you can become a herbalist and any types of training you may need to become a herbalist, and if you need certifications to become a herbalist. So we're going to learn all about herbalism and what you need to know to get started on your journey to become a herbalist. So let's talk about what exactly herbalism is. So herbalism comes from the folk and traditional medicinal practices that takes the use of plants and plant extracts to heal the body. Yes, herbalism actually comes from our ancestors, native and indigenous ancestors, who have been using plants to heal the body for thousands of years. Now, a big problem we have over here in the westernized side of the world is that we take these knowledge that our ancestors have passed down from generations to generations, and we tend to appropriate that knowledge and not really pay homage and give respect and pretty much say where we got the herbs from and where we learned this indigenous knowledge. And a lot of people just pass it off as their own. And that's a problem with a lot of cultures. A lot of these herbs come from these cultures and have been practiced by their ancestors. And again, a lot of people in the westernized society, they just say, here's this herb, and they don't tell you where the herb comes from, or they say, here's this practice, I'm going to go to this sweat lodge, and they really don't pay respect to where the concept of having a sweat lodge came from and why you do it in the first place. Again, a lot of things when it comes to herbalism and herbal practices, it has been appropriated, and that is a huge problem in the westernized society of the world. So whenever you think of herbalism, try to do your best to learn about the herb, learn about its origin, learn about the native people who use that herb, learn about the native practices associated with that herb, and that is a way that you can help decolonize herbalism and respect our ancestors and the herb. Okay, so now that we know what herbalism is, let's talk about what an herbalist is. So you can probably already figure out, but an herbalist is someone who uses plants for healing. So an herbalist can go by many different names. Some people call herbalists herb workers or herbal workers, plant workers. You may in the past have heard of people referring to the terms like a bush doctor or a medicine woman and a medicine man. Yes, those were herbalists. Other names that people may use for herbalism include herbologists or phytotherapists. All of those names can refer to a herbalist. Again, a herbalist is someone who uses plants for the method of healing. So let's actually talk a little bit more about herbalists and how they actually practice healing. So herbalists actually attempt to find the root cause of an illness by taking a holistic approach. Let's run that back. So herbalists actually attempt to find the root cause of an issue by taking a holistic approach. I said it again. Yeah, I'm sorry. Okay, one more time. So Herbalist attempts to find the root cause of an issue by taking a holistic approach. There we go. So what that means is an herbalist simply does not look at symptoms. As herbalists, we look at everything. So we want to know everything about you in order to reach a conclusion on what herbs can help you. So some things that we want to learn about is your past medical history, your personality, your energetics, any herbs that you are using, your lifestyle, everything. We take into account the whole person, and that helps us draw a conclusion on what herbs we can recommend to you. Now, the practice of herbalism is a lot different from doctors. As we know, doctors diagnose you based off of symptoms. They diagnose you based off of what you tell them is going on with you, as well as physical things they can see. So they really don't get to the root cause. Again, they mainly treat the symptoms. Now, keep in mind that this may be different from naturopathic doctors and other people who practice natural medicine. I am referring to conventional or traditional doctors, also known as allopathic doctors. Now, keep in mind that as an herbalist, you are not a doctor, okay? Let me repeat that. You are not a doctor. So please do not go around calling yourself a doctor because you are not one. Although some doctors can be herbalists, and that is a path that a lot of naturopathic doctors take and incorporate in their practice. But again, do not claim to be a doctor because you are not one. Along those lines, herbalists do not treat or diagnose or cure anything, okay? That's actually illegal. I cannot say that. Actually, in my disclaimers that I use for my clinical practice, I actually say that I do not practice any diagnosis or any treatment or curing of any diseases. That is not me. And actually, if you come to me and you do not have a diagnosis, I will refer you to a doctor to get a diagnosis first. Even though I probably know what's going on with you, ethically, I will not see clients who do not have a diagnosis just to cover myself. Okay, lastly, let's talk about the training that you need to become an herbalist. Now, I did mention in one of my videos, I talked about all the ways that you can use to become an herbalist. You can find that right up here or here. I always forget where the pop-up pops up at. I think it's gonna come over here. I don't know. But you can click on that video and I talk all about the many different ways that you can use to become an herbalist. If you would like to have formal training to become an herbalist, your best option would be to go to an actual herbal school. Now, in that video, I mentioned the 3 different ways that you can become an herbalist, and I go in depth in those 3 ways. And that is by self-study, mentorship, and traditional training. Now, again, click on that video if you want to learn a little bit more about those 3 methods. If you would like to become a clinical herbalist, so clinical herbalist is the more technical and scientific study of becoming an herbalist. So a lot of people who become clinical herbalists, they go through herbal training programs that relies heavily on a lot of scientific research and scientific medical studies and use a whole bunch of scientific jargon. And a lot of times you will often consult with doctors as well because you have that heavy scientific training. And as clinical herbalists, again, it's more well-rounded. So a clinical herbalist will be trained in pretty much everything because you're going to be seeing a lot of clients. Again, I will be going more into how to become a clinical herbalist in the next few videos, as well as how to become the other types of herbalists, whether you're interested in folk or community herbalism, or just more so learning about herbs for your friends and family. Last but not least, let's talk about certification. Now, I get this question so many times, whether here on my YouTube channel or over on my Instagram. Everybody always DM me asking if you need certification. So let's go ahead and get to it. Here in the United States and also Canada, you do not need certification to practice herbalism. Let me say it again. Here in the US and Canada, there is no official certification needed to become an herbalist or to practice herbalism. That means that you can actually call yourself an herbalist today. Like, nobody's gonna check you. Now, I would not do that ethically, but just know that there is, again, no nationally recognized certification in this field.
Also, be cautious of schools promising you certification upon completion of their program. Again, this is technically not a real thing. Now, they can offer you a certificate of completion, but no school currently has a certification that is recognized nationally.
Now, I'm sure a lot of you all have been seeing people use certain titles to call themselves an herbalist. And the truth of the matter is, you can call yourself anything. A lot of people give themselves these grand titles to make themselves seem a lot more experienced. And honestly, there's no such thing as a lot of these titles. They're not. For instance, you may see a lot of people calling themselves master herbalists. There is no official training you can go to become a master herbalist. And actually, I don't like when people use the term master herbalist because they're not using it correctly unless you have been in an apprenticeship since birth and you've been following along your herbal teacher who has been training you up since a child, and now you are an adult and you have learned everything there is to learn from your herbal mentor. I just don't think that title should be bestowed upon anyone. That's my personal opinion, y'all. Did not shoot me, okay? But a lot of people, what happens is a lot of people go to a training program or they read a couple books and they say they're a master herbalist, and they really don't know a lot about the body. As someone who is a master herbalist, you are supposed to be trained thoroughly in everything, okay? Everything. You're supposed to have extensive knowledge as well as extensive experience dealing with herbs and dealing with clients. I'm talking about years, 20, 30 plus years of experience. That, to me personally, is how much training you need to become or to call yourself a master herbalist. All right, you all, hopefully I kept this video short, quick, and sweet. I will be sharing more about my new course, The Self-Taught Herbalist, and the next upcoming videos, as well as some special things that I have planned for you all.
As always, if you would like to learn more about tea, herbs, and how to start your herbal business, make sure to check out my school, the Tea Business School, where I have courses such as my Mastering Tea Blending and Formulation course and my Herbal Business Assistant course.
Thank you so much for watching this video. As always, don't forget to stay safe, stay healthy, and stay blessed. And I'll see you on the next video. Bye.